Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to talk to you about the reticular activation system. Before I do that though, I want to do a quick review of the last video that I posted. So in the last video we talked a lot about neurotransmitter input. I want you guys to take a second to quickly write down everything you remember about what neurotransmitters do to induce arousal. Alright, so if you've already done that, let's take a quick review. Um, Neurotransmitters are basically the signals in the brain, chemical signals in the brain, and neurotransmitters are the internal activators of arousal. For example, in response to hunger, serotonin is initiated to induce arousal associated with hunger, right? So that happens chemically inside the brain. However, arousal can also be induced through external sensory inputs. In other words, you can external stimuli, such as visual and auditory input, can elicit arousal as well. So let's get a little bit more deeper into the definition of that. So the definition of sensory input is when external stimuli, such as auditory, visual, tactile, gustatory, and I think I'm missing one, olfactory, um, gu gustatory, olfactory stimuli. Okay, I'm going to say olfactory stimuli motivate you to take an action. So, seeing that you're watching this video right now, what you can say is that your sensory input is watching this video, hearing my voice, watching me typing on the screen, and that motivates you to learn or to take notes. The sensory input is actually very much correlated with your thalamus. So your thalamus is this structure over here. Let me change my color so that you can see it better. There. Make it a little thicker. There we go. That midbrain structure over there is known as your thalamus, and your thalamus is important for taking in sensory information and relaying it to the right parts of the brain. For example, if you have auditory input, it's going to relay it to the auditory cortex in your temporal lobe located down here. If you have visual information, like the words you're reading right now, it's going to go to the thalamus from your eyes, and then from your eyes it goes to the visual cortex. Pop quiz, guys. What is the one sense that actually does not go to the thalamus to get relayed to the right station? If you said the olfactory or the sense of smell, you would be correct. So the sense of smell actually does not go to the thalamus, it goes straight to the olfactory cortex located at the base of your frontal lobe. So the reason this is important is because these are all the mental responses to arousal or stimuli, right? So these two are the ways that sensory input and neurotransmitter input are the two ways that arousal is initiated in the body, right? So neurotransmitter input, which is internal, and sensory input, which is external input, will elicit the activation of arousal. But how is arousal actually carried out by the body? Well, that's where the reticular activating system, also abbreviated as RAS, comes into play. When you are in arousal, there are some distinctive features that everybody usually experiences. For example, the increase of heart rate. So let's write this out because if you write it out, it will sound extremely familiar to you, or it should actually. Um, Increased heart rate, increased breathing rate, sweating, increased blood pressure. Does this sound, do these functions sound pretty similar to you? They should sound pretty similar because those are the functions of your brainstem. So your brainstem contains a circuit known as the reticular activation system. which controls your autonomic nervous system. And what it does is when it senses these changes that occur in your brain due to sensory and neurotransmitter input, the reticular activation system, RAS, activates in your brainstem and sends information to the rest of your body to mobilize it for the state of arousal. In other words, it controls the autonomic nervous system to execute. One second. Um, see what color I have. Okay. To prepares the body to carry out the physical reaction of arousal. So if you think about what these responses are doing for the body, right? Increased heart rate. That's increasing the amount of blood flowing to your body and the other parts of your body. And why that's important is because as you increase the amount of blood flow, it allows you to move and provides nutrients for the rest of your body. Increased breathing rate. Again, it's allowing for more oxygen to enter the body so that you have more nutrients for your limbs that allow you to execute your state of arousal. Again, sweating, right? So as these changes are occurring, your body is constantly producing heat. In order to re-regulate your body temperature, your body is going to make you sweat so that you take out a lot of that heat alongside you. So that's why the reticular activation system is so important. So let's go over a quick overview about what we learned in this video. First, we reviewed how arousal is initiated. It can be initiated through neurotransmitter input, so changes within the body, or sensory input, changes outside the body, stimuli that your body interprets and then encodes a reaction for, or basically is motivated to take action for. In response, so that's the mental side of arousal. For your body to actually carry out arousal, it needs a reticular activating system to activate, which is located deep in the brainstem, this pink region over here, and has projections to all part of the body. And the reason this is so important is because it controls your autonomic nervous system, which is responsible for increasing your heart rate, um, increasing your blood breathing rate, sweating, blood pressure, etc., to prepare your body to respond to the stimulus, whether internal or external. So it encodes the physical reaction of arousal. So I highly suggest that you think this through, apply it to a few real-world examples on your own so that you're able to translate this in multiple circumstances. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope to see you in my next one. Bye, everyone.